Roxolana, a young slave girl who stole the heart of the most powerful sultan in the Ottoman Empire, Sultan Süleyman the Magnificent. She is my favorite sultan, and so I decided to do a short video of her life in Topkapi Palace with Sultan Süleyman. Hürrem Sultan was from Ruthenia, Poland, what is now Ukraine. Not much was known about her life before she entered the palace, except that she was a daughter of an Orthodox priest. She rose from slavery to be the most powerful woman of the Ottoman Empire. She became the official wife of Sultan Süleyman, who ruled the empire at the most splendid era of the Ottoman Empire and over 40 years, the longest ruling sultan in the history of the Ottoman Empire. Sultan Süleyman was so in love with her that he broke all traditions. He was in a monogamous relationship with Hürrem, which was unusual for a sultan who had a harem full of beautiful women at his beck and call. Once he laid his eyes on her, all other slave girls were invisible to him, including Mahidevran, who was with him before Hürrem came along. Even before he ascended to the throne, they had one son together, Prince Mustafa, which he ordered to kill later on due to Mustafa's rise to popularity and Hürrem's influence, no doubt. Sultan Süleyman had many children with Hürrem, while one concubine can only have one son according to the Ottoman dynasty tradition to avoid bloodshed within the dynasty household. But Hürrem bore him 6 children, one beautiful princess named Mirima, and 4 healthy sons to secure her status and the future of the Ottoman dynasty. Hürrem's son Prince Selim later became Sultan Selim II when Sultan Süleyman died. Sadly, Prince Mehmed died from smallpox while he was the governor of Manisa. He was 21 years old. Prince Abdullah died when he was a toddler, and most unfortunately, Prince Bayezid was killed along with his 4 sons by Sultan Süleyman's order, accusing him of being a rebel. Lastly and sadly, Prince Jihangir, the youngest of 5 brothers, who was born with a hunchback and suffered poor health all throughout his life, also died at the age of 21 years old. Sultan Süleyman made her a free woman, then married her as his lawful wife, the first sultan in the history of the Ottoman Empire to do so. According to Islamic law, a sultan cannot marry a slave, but as a sultan's bride, Hürrem was free from slavery, and she was the one true love of his life until her death at the age of 56 years old. Hürrem was titled Sultana and received 2,000 aspers per day, while other concubines earned only 4 to 5 aspers per day. The title Sultan is a royal title, not for a non-royal blood, but Hürrem was ascended to royalty by love and not by blood. According to the Ottoman dynasty law of fratricide, meaning whichever son succeeded to the throne gets to kill all his brothers to avoid civil wars. So Hürrem had to use everything, her beauty, charm, cleverness, and intelligence, to keep her son from being killed. had one son from another concubine became the Sultan when Sultan Süleyman dies. Also, according to the Ottoman imperial custom, a concubine must leave with her son when he came of age to his assigned post, but Sultan Süleyman allowed Hürrem to remain by his side in the capital even when her firstborn Prince Mehmed came of age and was sent to be the governor of Manisa. In fact, she stayed in the capital by her sultan, the love of her life, until her death. When it came to Hürrem, Sultan Süleyman broke all the Ottoman imperial customs. No custom stood in the way of his love for her. They used to write beautiful love poems to each other. Sultan Süleyman called Hürrem his woman of beautiful hair, his moonlight, his wealth, his love, his sultan, his Istanbul, his Anatolia, his Baghdad, basically his very existence in his poems. He is also called Kanuni, meaning the lawgiver to his people, but he was known as Suleyman the Magnificent to us in the West. Do you know what Sultan Süleyman's pen name was? It starts with the letter M. By the way, he renamed her Hürrem, which means joyful one, taken from Persian Khorram. Her birth name was Rosalana or Alexandra. We don't really know. Hürrem Sultan is now rested in a mausoleum right next to Sultan Süleyman's mausoleum in the courtyard of Süleymaniye Mosque. The walls of her tomb is decorated with elegant blue tiles depicting the Garden of Paradise. Truly unfortunate that the day I visited the tombs, Hürrem's mausoleum was closed to visitors, so I could only look from the outside in. Hopefully, I will be able to come in to her mausoleum the next time I'm in Istanbul. I don't like visiting gravesites, but the tomb they built in Turkey are not spooky at all. In fact, they are beautiful, inviting, and very peaceful to me. Once the slave girls were brought through these locked gates, they will never be allowed out ever again. But Hürrem escaped her fate and became the most powerful sultan of all sultans. Perhaps the slave girls could see the view of the city below and the Galata Tower way down yonder from their courtyard as the palace sits on the hilltop. Perhaps. I also like Sultan Sultan, but not as much as I like Hürrem. To me, Sultan became too ambitious later in life. Perhaps Hürrem Sultan did too, but just to protect her children, but mostly to be able to be by Sultan Suleiman's side, always. Which Sultan is your favorite, Hürrem or Sultan? Drop me a comment. Thank you for watching.